1998's Blade is such an iconic and memorable comic book movie that pioneered a lot of tropes adaptations use to this day. Its darkened tone and much more grounded approach was a breath of fresh air from the goofiness and silliness of the comic book films from the 90s. The story of a day-walking vampire that hunts vampires is simple but extremely effective, especially with Wesley Snipes killing the role. You can see the inspiration from Blade and X-Men and even Spider-Man. It was a very formative few years that laid the groundwork for the greatest cinematic universe in history. Even if there has been some flops, the MCU is mostly good quality projects that enhance our love of these comic book properties. So when we heard Blade was announced as an MCU project, we did this corny little fist bump just like Blade. Mahershala Ali was announced as the titular vampire slayer, hot off his role in Luke Cage, another Marvel project. He was also the best part of that show, in my opinion. Now this all sounds great, so what's the problem? Well, the movie was announced in 2019, 5 years ago. It's been a long 5 years for Blade fans hearing rumors and hearsay about the film's developmental hell. I think they've waited this long because Blade is a beloved series that deserves a faithful reimagining in the MCU. But did they wait too long? Wesley Snipes actually showed back up as Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine. He even said there would only ever be one Blade. I guess you didn't see the TV show. So was this just a fun joke about the new Blade's production troubles, or was it an omen of things to come? I honestly have no idea right now, but we just want to list some options of what a Blade MCU movie might look like. Now this isn't based on anything really, just something we thought would be fun for Halloween. We cover a lot of superhero content on this channel, so we wanted to pick a spookier one to focus on for this video, especially since the movie has been delayed for so long, if it's still happening at all. Steven, do you like Blade?
I love Blade. No, he's really cool. He's sick. I think Wesley Snipes, like you said in the like you said in the intro, he's just he defined Blade. You know what I mean? Much like Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, much like Patrick Stewart as Professor X. You think Blade, of course you're gonna think Wesley Snipes, but Mahershala Ali, I think has the potential to be a better Blade.
Even though he's getting really old now. I say really old, he's not old, but he's getting to the point where, like, is he going to be committed to MCU for like 10 years?
Yeah, especially since this was 5 years ago when it was announced.
Right.
We're still going through some hell. We had like his voice at the end of Eternals of all things. So yeah, it's not looking great. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I guess let's start out with my idea first. I guess my big idea is that this should be an origin movie. The first Blade had elements of his origin. We got to see him like born and everything. We know his mom died, but he famously is very different from his comic book origin. So in the comics, he was just a guy who couldn't get turned into a vampire. It was because Deacon Frost killed his mom and drank her blood while he was getting born. While Eric Blade was getting born, and this was like in 1800s, I think. Okay, it was in 1929, so it's earlier in the decade. I would love like a period piece if possible. We could do like an early 1900s kind of a thing, like a.
I would love like
Victorian.
a 1920s Blade.
Yeah,
I think that would be really sick.
and his mentor, who was changed up for the movie, was this jazz player who killed vampires.
Oh, really?
So that would be a fun, addition to put in there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Just like an origin story. That's my idea.
Yeah.
Origin story, period piece before the whole MCU. That way we're not really focused on what the hell Thanos is doing or whatever.
No, yeah. Do it far enough back that none of the events of any of the other movies has any type of impact on it. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I could go with that. But how does he end up in... See, you could go even further by that because at the end of Eternals, he's in the UK, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but he's UK and he's from the UK in the comics.
So we could go even further, do like a Jack the Ripper type of period piece.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 1800s. Maybe change the source material a little bit, go 1700s, you know?
Give us like a Dracula vibe, but with Blade.
Yes,
yeah.
and like old time London. I think would be really cool.
We got Werewolf by Night, which is sort of that same vibe. It kind of throws back to Vampire by Day. That's what he is.
He's a daywalker.
He didn't start out as a daywalker. Like I said, he was just a human that got a little bit of vampire enzymes in him.
Oh, really?
He became the daywalker when he got bitten by Morbius, Spider-Man film.
Oh, really?
And Morbius nowadays has a much different
Morbius
context.
Doesn't even drink blood. He drinks plasma.
Well, he bit him, so he turned him into a vampire. I mean, he gave him extra vampire abilities, I guess.
Yeah, somehow.
It would make sense more so than like an actual vampire doing it, since he's sort of a different vampire.
Yeah.
He's like a living vampire.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I think origin story is probably the best way to do it.
But are we sick of origin stories in the MCU yet?
No, I'm not. But I don't think I'm the right audience. I am and I'm not, because I'll just watch any superhero movie.
I was going to say, you would watch whatever the hell they put out.
Yeah. I think the origin would work for this, though, because we're already setting up to kind of reboot the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get an origin story, Blade.
I think they, what I heard at the end of Eternals was his little voice cameo, uncredited by the way. Maybe, and that didn't have to be Blade. That could be anybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they can still recast, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Honestly, when I first heard it, I thought Samuel L. Jackson. It sounded a little bit like Samuel L. Jackson. I said, "Is that Samuel L. Jackson?" You said, "No, it's fucking Mahershala Ali." I was like, "Oh, my bad."
It would make more sense if the guy looking at a big blade is hearing from Blade as well.
Yeah,
you know
that would be cool.
What is that guy's character? The Black Knight? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it is. Like the sword itself is almost sentient, I believe.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
it like awakens his bloodlust or something.
I looked
so he doesn't
into it.
like using it as much as he could.
I remember looking into it right after Eternals, being like, "That'd be cool. Why isn't this movie about him? Why is he in the Eternals? Why couldn't we just have a movie about this guy?"
I would have way watched Kit Harington being like old time. Like we could even have like the guy who trains Blade could be the guy who was using the sword first.
Sure,
you know what I mean, and make that connection. If we're keeping Kit Harington as the Black Knight,
I think so.
Is that scrapped? Is that happening? Was that just we'll just keep it there just in case?
You know what I think was going to happen? This is just me being a cynical hater now.
Yeah.
No, I think all these young Avengers are getting introduced to make a young Avengers team.
Yeah.
I think they were going to start introducing like dark Avengers for like a Midnight Suns type thing.
Yeah, I got you.
So like you would have gotten like.
Let's do that though. Let's go dark with some of these things. You know what we've seen with Deadpool that a rated R movie and with Logan it could work. You know what I mean?
Especially a Blade movie that has some.
Yes, let's put some horror themes in there.
Precedence of box office.
Yes, dude.
Moolah.
Honestly, get Sam Raimi back in it. He's phenomenal in the horror kind of comic booky kind of camp.
I think he fits really well in that MCU paradigm. Like I think he works really well. And Multiverse of Madness, I think the bad parts were not the parts he had anything to do with. It was the studio mandates.
Yeah.
Like Wanda's whole intervention or like whatever. But he made it look good, you know.
Yeah, he did. He did. I still don't think she would have killed Professor X that easily. You know.
Well, she was in his head or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
But no, I think Sam Raimi would be a great director choice for this. Do we want to see like Jack the Ripper in this? Like, who do we want as like supporting characters and stuff like that?
Does he go? I mean, you do.
Is there any other Marvel characters we could throw in there?
Like from that time?
Yeah.
They probably have some kind of immortal character.
Yeah.
I think, but I don't know. I'm kind of sick of that. That's what I was saying. Like my cynical brain was like, they're just gonna make a Midnight Suns thing. Yeah, just make a Blade thing.
I could see that.
I think the original plan was this is like I said here, like in the intros, hearsay and rumors. Elsa Bloodstone was in the Werewolf by Night show. Apparently, the Blade movie was all about like her and another couple girls, and Blade was just kind of a side character in it.
Really?
Which is like, why would you make a Blade movie?
Wait, what's Werewolf by Night? What are you talking about?
You've seen that? It's the Disney Plus like special presentation.
I don't think I watched that.
It was a horror inspired. With Man Thing in it. You didn't see that?
No.
It's good. It's really good actually.
Oh,
I liked it a lot. It was like the best episode of a TV show.
Gotcha.
And they just did one little thing of it. It was like 45, 50 minutes. It was really good.
I'll have to look at that.
It came out a couple years ago. It's like a black and white horror thing.
Oh, yeah, I've not. This is the first time I've heard it.
It's a good, the guy's a werewolf. He turns into like a really cool, interesting looking werewolf.
Yeah.
It's not like.
And it's Marvel?
It's Marvel. It's MCU, yeah.
Wow.
It was like, they were doing that special presentation format, like whenever, like it was before Echo, but the same kind of thing.
The Marvel Presents, or Marvel Spotlight. Before they called it Spotlight.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with that.
What do you think? What are your kind of ideas? Like, what would you have liked to see out of a Blade
See, this
movie?
is the thing, and this is the anime in me. I kind of want to see like a Part 1 JoJo type vampire thing, like lamplight kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I'm thinking, like do a lot of JoJo inspired vampire stuff. You know what I mean?
Just kind of go all out there with the visuals.
Yeah, I want it to be more vampire movie than Marvel movie for me.
Agreed,
you know what I mean?
Agreed.
Because we're both big monster fans. You guys can check out the channel. We've got a Mount Rushmore of monsters, and we both love vampires a lot. And great stuff coming. But I want so much of it to be vampire. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with not seeing another Marvel character in this movie and it just being Blade.
I think maybe you do like a Dracula. Is that too much? Is that too silly to have like a Marvel Dracula in there?
That may be too much because Dracula is going to be a show stealer.
Yeah,
you know.
And he's in Blade 3.
Yeah, but that's Blade 3. You've already established Blade. You know what I mean? You love Blade. You introduce Dracula in the first Blade movie, you take away from Blade's origin.
I will say Blade was introduced in a Dracula comic, The Tomb of Dracula.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's a comic book. You have lots of issues and stuff. But for a movie, I don't think I want Dracula. At least in the first one. You know, maybe the second one or the third one kind of thing.
Who's the villain? Deacon Frost, the guy who killed his mother. Are we still doing that kind of origin?
Give me some background on Deacon Frost. I don't know him that well.
Just a vampire. He's pretending to be a doctor, and he bit the mom.
Like while she was giving birth.
Or
Why?
she was pregnant, and he ate her.
God.
Just a vampire. Just an evil vampire.
Interesting. No, I mean, you could probably mention it. Maybe it could be a revenge type story. You know, he's tracking down the vampire that killed his mom.
That's sort of his motivation from the comics.
Yeah.
And even in the first movie, Deacon Frost is the main bad guy, but he has his own motivation.
Since I've watched the Blade movies, we may have to rewatch those.
I love those movies, especially the first two. The third one's kind of long.
I like the third one because of Ryan Reynolds.
He does improve it, I will say.
Yeah.
And that was the whole. I guess they didn't hate each other.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds said that apparently he wasn't even on set with Wesley Snipes.
Really?
Like apparently Wesley Snipes was so over it. There was something going on. Like he was just like being a diva or something.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't show up on set days. He would only show up like by himself, and they would have to like just shoot him.
What a diva, dog.
Yeah, and they would do like stand-ins. This is what I've heard. I don't know if this is all true or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the story at least. I would also, if we're doing like a Midnight Suns thing, maybe make it a show. What do you think with that?
No.
I'm
done with the Marvel shows. I don't trust them to make a good show anymore.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
It's very hit or miss. Some shows are good, some shows are bad, and I don't want a hit or miss when it comes to Blade. I want a good movie.
Yeah.
You know,
or like make a really good like 16 episode to 20 episode show.
If you can do it, I think we'll have the Daredevil show before we get Blade.
Yeah.
If Daredevil goes well, which I'm thinking it will,
It probably will.
then maybe I'll be open to a Blade TV show. But I really want to see it on the big screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about, do you want to see him building a team of some sort of like other Midnight Sun type characters?
See, that's what I was thinking too, but I was like, who do we get? You know what I mean? I'm thinking like old time. Do we throw in like legacy old characters that kind of the mantle gets passed down like a Captain America type thing, or like a Black Panther type of thing where we get or instead of Thor we get Odin type of thing? Like, do we want these older ones that go forward in time? Or do we want just completely different ones set? Because you have to realize, too, if you're doing a whole Midnight Suns thing...
Are you talking about like the period? Like there's a period piece that's going to be
yeah, because I was saying, like, in a period piece, they either have to be immortal, because you're going to bring them in later, or you just have to realize that they're going to stay back there. That's why you get, like, someone who passes the mantle, like Black Panther's, like, great-grandpa was in London doing something, or Odin was down in London doing something kind of thing, you know what I mean?
I guess for the sake of argument, like this one's in the modern day, like which Marvel characters?
We're past the period piece thing.
Yeah.
Who would work for Blade? I think. See, this is what really annoys me is I think Blade would do so much better in the DCU.
Really?
Because I think you could have Etrigan, you could have John Constantine, you could have Vandal Savage. You know,
Yeah.
like you have all these cool, demonic, monstrous people.
Boston Brand or whatever.
Yeah,
Deadman.
I'm trying to think of Marvel people like that.
Well, we got Werewolf by Night. We got Man-Thing established. We got
Yeah.
Elsa Bloodstone. We got those are the three that are already in the MCU.
Yeah.
And then
we could throw in Agatha or some sort of witch.
I was gonna say someone from Agatha, either that Wiccan kid or
Yeah.
Agatha herself. Who if Scarlet Witch is not dead, then maybe she can come back.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider would be the next big pick. I think
a Ghost Rider Blade team up would be so cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the. I'm sure that's precedent.
That's
in the comics.
gotta be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, Wolverine. He's like always in the Midnight Suns.
I could see a Blade Ghost Rider like the sequel Blade movie could be a Ghost Rider like they fight and they become buddies kind of thing.
I like that stuff in theory. I guess in
it
general.
never really works though. Batman vs Superman really put a damper on those kind of movies. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, even just in Marvel, I think Eternals is a good one to look at, where it's like we've got Black Knight here, but like the whole thing is about Eternals.
Black Knight would be good too.
Black Knight would be good, but it's like, what are we doing with
Moon
this character?
Knight would be good with Blade.
Moon Knight would be good if he was interesting.
I could see Moon Knight in it. I would like Oscar Isaac to come back as Moon Knight. I really would.
What about Doctor Strange? Have like a magic guy in there.
Except beef up Doctor Strange. I'm sick of Doctor Strange being a little pussy.
Doctor Strange is always better in combo projects instead of his own stuff.
Yeah.
I fully believe that. 100%.
But he should be good in his own stuff too.
He should be, and they have chances to make him really powerful and cool, but they always just kind of bring him back in.
Man, but
especially now he's got that third eye. That would be really good for like a.
So that's the thing too. I think I would rather have an origin piece over like a Midnight Suns setup. I don't want a setup movie for Blade. I want Blade to be his own thing through and through. Yeah,
that's kind of what I was getting at with like the Eternals problem was like maybe don't make this character who's someone's boyfriend like a superhero already. Yeah. Just feels like it's a little coincidental, it's a little too packed in there. Yeah. Like we're trying to introduce this character so he can do his own like different thing later. And also, like, don't make everyone so jokey and funny. Like,
Yeah.
that's my problem with Moon Knight. Was like, why is this character who's like historically is very serious?
I think it worked for the fact that one of them was jokey, funny,
Yeah.
and the other one was serious.
I think it was just that character's very niche and very like hard to sell.
Yeah.
So we need to make him more. We need to MCUify him, where he's joking, he's quipping, he's making.
Yeah.
He like steps over himself, and he's kind of he's posh, but he's also he's clumsy, and
Yeah.
it's charming.
Yeah.
The first 100 times we saw it. So there's a whole like Howling Commandos. I mean, Howling Commandos was Captain America's platoon. And I think Nick Fury
Monsterfied it.
Nick Fury made another like version of the team with
Yeah.
like just like werewolves and Dracula and
Oh, that's so
Frankenstein and
sick.
all these different
It's
characters.
so sick. Yeah, I want some more monsters, but I want Blade. I want Blade first of all just to come out. Can
Yeah.
we get Blade
Yeah, yeah,
already?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, executives.
They're still writing it, right? They're not even in production yet.
I think they keep rewriting it because I think
Yeah.
the rumors had been that it was like focused on like Elsa Bloodstone,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was focused on like a different thing, and then eventually we got this like Twitter scoop that was like, yeah, Blade is just going to be about Blade fighting vampires, and I think everyone collectively said that's not what it was about in the first place. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I personally just do like a stripped down kind of character story about Blade. Show us some really good action. Show us some really good,
Let's see
practical.
some vampires.
Show us some blood. Make it
sucking
R.
some plasma.
like from the Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's why I
show.
keep making the reference. If you guys don't know, you couldn't suck blood on
Fox
cartoon.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had Morbius. He was sucking plasma.
I hunger for plasma. I took it through my hands. I could feel it coursing through his skin.
As a kid, I was like, "Oh, this is an interesting way to do a vampire." Like he had little suckers in his hands.
Yeah, because he couldn't bite him.
And that's just not what it was at all.
Yeah.
In the comics, it was just a full-on. He was a normal vampire.
Yeah, he was just a vampire. Maybe bring back the actor from Morbius.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, bring him back.
Sure, why not? Who
Don't
cares?
actually. I'm being.
They're about to do a secret invasion or secret war. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Doom.
Well, Doomsday into Secret War.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion was a show no one liked.
Yeah, it was terrible. God, it was awful. And I hate that for Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, and Samuel Jackson. That was like
Yeah.
his big chance to kind of make this character have some
Yeah.
actual depth, and it
Yeah.
just went nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But we could do. Here's another idea, and this is gonna be bad, and this is something that I don't endorse.
Okay.
We could do a multiversal thing with Wesley Snipes Blade.
No.
We could have Mahershala be MCU Blade. We could have Wesley Snipes from Daredevil and Wolverine. Like I say, he just showed back up.
Deadpool.
And what did I say?
Daredevil.
Well, Deadpool and Wolverine. He just showed back up. I mean, multiverse is hot right now. It's big time hot.
Oh, that's hot.
Nostalgia, big time hot.
No.
So we could even just do another Wesley Snipes Blade at this point.
No.
I bet you after that movie came out and everyone had a positive response to it, Marvel was thinking like, "Ooh, hold off on Blade. Let's
Yeah.
think about this for a minute."
No, that's not. How about you just finish the fucking script and make the movie?
They're just
At
like,
this point, we're not seeing Blade until like 2027. I mark my words, we're not getting it until 2027.
I think it gets canceled. I don't think it comes out.
Oh, don't say that, Hopper.
I think it'll get canceled. I think they're gonna just do it after the Secret Wars.
Yeah,
That's what I think is gonna happen.
and they're gonna have a new person.
I think it'll be a new person. Yeah, I don't think maybe Mahershala will show up in Secret Wars as like, "Oh, remember me? I was announced to have my own movie. I
It's
didn't
gonna
get
be
it."
Channing Tatumized.
Like Channing, just get that image of Channing Tatum as Black Panther.
Yeah.
But instead of Black Panther, it's Blade.
I've seen people make like Captain America as Black Panther, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I think the best is an origin story set in old time London.
Yeah.
Get a few older or more monster like.
Super young Blade.
Yeah.
And have him age slow. Maybe he just already has his Daywalker abilities.
Yeah, I think we go in and you see flashbacks of his birth or something
Yeah.
while he's tracking down Deacon Frost to kill him.
It's kind of what the first movie does.
It's not a bad formula,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's been 25 years since
Yeah.
we got that formula.
Probably
so-
need a refresh on kind of who Blade is and what he does.
Yeah, which we can. I think they can do that well.
Yeah. I heard something crazy about the sword. You know how he has the sword that has like the anti-theft where it like pops out blades from the handle?
Yeah.
I heard that was copyrighted for some reason, so they couldn't use that in Deadpool and Wolverine, so he just kind of like throws stuff or will shoot a gun.
Really? Why is
Yeah.
it copyrighted?
I don't know. Something about that idea in Blade, the movie. So they couldn't use it for some reason.
Huh.
So it's like not, that sword is not in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
You know that is. I'd never actually see his sword, do we?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I haven't seen it since it came out, but
Yeah.
I assume it's not there.
Wow. I love that little bit. He's like, I thought you were a retard.
Thought you were, Retired. Retarded. Retired.
I can't believe they said that too.
No, don't want to get canceled.
It's funny that came out in like the 90s, so maybe that character would say that, you know?
Oh, 100% he would say that.
He goes, motherfucker, you out of your damn mind?
Yeah, dude.
Maybe my favorite part of the whole movie.
Oh, dude.
Besides when he's like,
Yeah. Oh, man. We need to rewatch the Blade movies.
I like the Blade movies a lot.
Yeah.
They're great, and I think they're like it's like a fun way to do vampire superhero stuff. Yeah. Blade's such a cool character, man. I like spooky kind of Midnight Sun type characters.
And I like vampire movies.
Yeah,
It's the best of both worlds. Yeah, that's our what we would want from a Blade movie. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this? Do you care about Blade? Do you want to see a Blade movie? Are you tired of it? Are you with Hopper, or you think we're just not going to get one? Let us know all of that down below in the comments. Last week we had the Monster Rushmore. Next week we'll try and have the vampire tier list out for you guys. So check it out. We've got a Gremlins review. We've got a Beetlejuice review. So go check those out. Ben 10 on Mondays. And we're live streaming throughout the week. So we will see you at some point in the week.